Since it's the midnight hour, what the hell am I talking about? It's the 1:41 a.m. hour here in Washington State. I decided to tell you a story. This is the camera just puts away. Hey, get back here, camera. Anyway, this is an e-cig, one of many. This is one of the bigger ones. You know, some women like them. I don't care for it because it's too heavy, and if I get upset or something, it flicks my nose because I talk with my hands. So suddenly I'm going hit with an e-cig with this thing up my nose. It has basically steam, and you have a variable here on to how much nicotine you want. They come in 3 milligrams, 6 milligrams, 12 milligrams, and 18 milligrams of nicotine. If you're trying to smoke, the suggestion is you start off with what you think your highest milligram has been, and then you are to lower it. Zen smoked e-cigs, and I believe Argy does too. I know there's a few others that do too. We could probably explain this a lot more better than I can, damn it. Talk. Anyway, but this is actually of high caliber, and it's very well made. And it goes up or down depending on the steam that you want. Okay? And so, basically, here's a button. I'm going to show you the button. Button's there. You go like this. It's nicotine, guys. And now that's all I want to take in, because the harder smokers, 3 milligram for me, harder smokers adjust it accordingly, and that would just make me ugh. I don't like it. But they also come in plain with no nicotine in it, and it's just for people with a hand and mouth. I have the hand and mouth. Smoking just seems cool to them for whatever reason, and so they feel they have to carry one of these. It's actually safer than carrying a real cigarette and smoking it, and it's actually safer for you than a candy cigarette, which you can bite into, bite your tongue, and therefore choke to death. That's what I've heard anyway. Now, I want to tell you a story about these damn e-cigarettes. So anyway, I think about 4 or 5 really good ones have been bought. We lay it down on a specific counter and come back, and it has been removed. There's been no kid in sight, no children in sight. Well, there's always a dog in sight and a cat. But anyway, this is way too heavy for a cat to pick up. And a dog, I don't know what they'd think to do with it. They'd probably swallow it. But anyway, and they end up missing. One time, I think it was a couple years ago, I told you about I could smell cigarette smoke inside the house. And there's no smoking allowed in the house. This does not create any kind of odor. And whenever I start thinking of my grandmother or whatever, I would smell the cigarette smoke. Smell like Chesterfield Kings. And anyway, it didn't happen every night, thank God, but it would happen a good once every 2 weeks. It would just occur out of nowhere, you know. Kind of eerie. I didn't like it, and it would bring up my mother every time. So anyway, we started buying these, and they started disappearing. Now, some would reappear in places that they weren't left, and some never came back. The tobacco things were removed, 3 milligrams, 18, whoever was smoking what would be removed, never given back, but sometimes one would be given back. This one here is an expensive one, and I'm warning her. If you believe in a ghost, just keep her paws off of it. But in all seriousness, it was happening, and couldn't figure out what it was. Never could. It's a phenomena of an e-cig. I think it's rare. For a long time, I normally don't talk about this stuff. But when my dog Gage passed, I missed him profusely. I believe even Suja made a painting of him for me that was just exactly like him. It's nobody better than my dog. But anyway, he used to go out in the back and he'd go around the whole perimeter, I think I told you about that. And he'd stand on the deck and he'd look around like a little sergeant. And, I used to look at him and say, "What are you doing?" And he'd look at me smiling and protecting the property. And after he died, I could hear for weeks him going up and down the stairs. It was sad. And I remember that so clearly. I remember going out on the deck and one night seeing him go around the perimeters of the yard. So if that can happen, the e-cig can happen, though Gage never smoked. Didn't care to. He preferred bones. Wish my mother would have preferred bones. She had lived a lot longer than she had. Cancer is an evil thing. It has proven to be very bad in my family. All cigarette smokers, and most of them died from lung cancer. And in my opinion, lung cancer is one of the most brutal cancers. Just watching, taking care of. Oh, it's sad. That's where the e-cig comes in. It breaks you of the smoking gradually, and it does. When you're just doing one of these a day, you're not even doing it. Just smoking a couple puffs, it's like, and it's steam. So, no smell. But yeah, I just thought I'd share that. Odd little story, isn't it? I thought it was odd. It's now 1:51.